happening now.
Gunfire leaves 2 men wounded on Syracuse's west side, and homeowners look to control a growing problem with coyotes. 11 non-stop minutes start now.
Now, 11 non-stop minutes of news.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Rod Wood. News is breaking in Syracuse right now as police investigate a double shooting that's left 1 man in critical condition. It happened around 7:30 tonight at the corner of Shonard and West Streets on the city's west side. City police say 22-year-old Brian Shepard was stopped at a red light when another car pulled up alongside and someone fired several shots into Shepard's car. He was hit once in the chest. He's the victim in critical condition at University Hospital tonight. His passenger, 19-year-old Keith Horton, suffered injuries to his hands. He's been treated and released. Tonight, city police are looking for witnesses. If you saw anything, call police at 442-5222. Also this evening, fire engines were called out to this home in the 100 block of Park Street on Syracuse's north side. Firefighters had the flames out within minutes. The outside of the home looked fine, but there's no word on the extent of the internal damage. They're on the prowl for food, and they're only becoming bolder. We're talking about the coyote packs that are popping up more and more in the city of Oswego. They're especially a problem in the southwest neighborhood of Kingsford Woods near the middle school. That's where we sent our Heather Hedges tonight to find out more about what neighbors have to say about this problem.
They're really loud and they're very annoying.
A lot of them look a little skinny too, which kind of would make you believe that they probably are hungry and looking for something to prey upon.
Tom Roman has watched coyotes roam right down his street. One even ate the family cat. Tom says it's constricted where he allows his 3 little ones to play.
You certainly hesitate to let them get a little close to the woods because you kind of don't know what's out there.
Tom's friend Bill lives several streets away. He's also spotted the animal in broad daylight.
I was driving up the road here about 7:30 in the morning, and right near me in the road, running right down the middle of the road, was looked to be an adult coyote.
What's causing the coyotes to come out? Well, the Kingsford Woods neighborhood here is a forest, and when people started building homes here, they built them right on top of the coyotes' homes. Now animal control is trying to educate people about the do's and don'ts of coyote cohabitation.
Cat food, dog food, anything left outside. They'll even go for some types of bird food, or garbage. So, people in this city have to be aware that leaving these things out are attracting this wildlife into our areas.
For now, Animal Control says that's their plan, get that message out, rather than try to control the coyotes. But Richard Bateman says more drastic measures are in order.
I'd like to see possibly some traps set, some cages to maybe put the dogs in and take them to another location.
Now, Animal Control says that's not the right solution because they say even if you can catch one pack, there are multiple packs. These animals are multiplying fast without any predator in the area. Animal Control does say if you do see coyotes, don't be worried. They're probably more scared of you than you are of them. The best thing you can do is just make a loud noise, and that should be enough to scare them away. Rod?
Heather, thanks. Oswego Animal Control is holding a public meeting about this issue next Wednesday in conjunction with the state's Department of Environmental Conservation. That meeting will be held at 7 o'clock in the Common Council chambers of Oswego City Hall. If you have any questions, contact Animal Control at 343-1803. The man who wrecked his motorcycle and spent last night lying on the side of the road is still in critical condition tonight. David Harp was riding his Harley Davidson along Stevens Road in the Madison County town of Lenox when he lost control around a turn. It was more than 8 hours until someone spotted him. News Channel 9's Kelly Quinn spoke to the passerby who found David Harp.
This is the route Darren Thomas took to work this morning, the same as every morning.
I saw the bike, but 6:30 in the morning, getting ready to go to work, tunnel vision on your way. But then it kind of registered there's a bike, so I stopped and I turned around, and sure enough, there was the bike there, and there he was.
A Harley Davidson leaning against the trees, and David Harp lying face down on the ground.
It couldn't move at all. Didn't try to move, really.
Harp had been there for 8 hours, since 10 o'clock last night.
It was dark, and it looks like, and it was wet last night, and he just missed the turn. You can see right here in the grass that it flipped at least twice, the tire marks and the dug up marks.
Stevens Road is not a main road, but it is considered a cut-through. Thomas says a lot of people probably passed right by.
Not going to be able to see them. It's dark. There's no street lights or anything.
It's a good thing that Harp and his bike didn't land just a few feet further back. The sheriff says if he had gone through this wood line, he very likely wouldn't have been found.
And it could have just gone 5 feet and he would have been back there, and then who knows? Who knows what would have happened. So luckily for him, he landed where he did land.
Thomas says it hit him a few hours later. It was a strange way to start the day. Now he just hopes the man he found recovers. In Madison County, Kelly Quinn, News Channel 9.
David Harp is still in the intensive care unit at University Hospital. He has a possible spinal fracture and internal injuries. Syracuse Mayor Matt Driscoll and Senator Chuck Schumer want Delta Airlines to stop cutting back on flights between Hancock Airport and Atlanta. They will travel to Atlanta next week to plead their case with the airline. Schumer says Delta has cut seating capacity from 630 seats to just over 270 over the past 2 years. And the last of Delta's larger jets will be replaced with a regional jet as of this Friday. He claims many Central New Yorkers fly out of Rochester because it's cheaper. We have a consumer alert tonight for cereal lovers. Get ready to pay more money for less chow. General Mills, maker of Cheerios, Lucky Charms, and several other brands, says rising costs for raw ingredients like wheat and corn are forcing them to raise prices at the supermarket. To minimize the increases, they're also shrinking the sizes of cereal boxes. Covering New York tonight, a Buffalo couple whose 2-year-old daughter drowned in the family pool last year is trying to save others from the same fate. Michael and Michelle Scalzi have raised more than $35,000 to give out free pool alarms that make a loud noise when a person falls into the water.
There today.
Just keep an eye on the kids. Don't take your eyes off them for 1 second. And they won't have to be going through what we're going through.
Now, so far, more than 700 alarms have been given away. State law requires all new pools more than 2 feet deep to have an alarm, but older pools are not under the mandate. In Ithaca, the Tompkins County Legislature took a unique stance today, approving a resolution asking Congress to impeach President Bush and Vice President Cheney. The resolution accuses the duo of high crimes related to their actions involving the war in Iraq. Covering America tonight, police in Kansas say a body found today just over the Missouri border is very likely that of a teenager who disappeared 4 days ago. 18-year-old Kelsey Smith vanished from a department store parking lot. Police do not have any suspects in the case yet. Better news in Connecticut, where another missing girl has been found alive more than a year after she was last seen. Police say the 15-year-old girl was being kept in a hidden room in the home of a 41-year-old acquaintance of her family. The man has been arrested for her abduction. His common-law wife is being charged with conspiracy in the case. Covering the world now, the German man who tried to jump into the Pope-mobile today is now under the watch of psychiatrists. Guards quickly wrestled the man down. Afterwards, the Pope said he never even noticed the man when it happened. The Vatican says the Pope was never in any real danger, and there are no plans to change the security procedures for his weekly general audiences in St. Peter's Square. A former Syracuse police officer accused of driving drunk and hitting another car will go to trial this summer. Derek Backus tried to plead guilty in the crash that injured 2 teenagers, but his victims turned down the plea deal, saying 6 months of jail time and 5 years on probation just wasn't enough. Today, Backus's attorney tried to have the entire case thrown out, citing inaccuracies with the grand jury minutes. But the judge says the minutes are fine, and the trial will begin August the 6th. Shirley Winters also appeared in court today. She's the woman accused of smothering and killing her 5-month-old son 27 years ago. Winters' attorney, Ken Moynihan, does not want statements Winters made to her ex-husband the day of her arrest in March shown during the trial. Police videotaped that conversation and turned the tape over to the defense. Moynihan also wants to discard police photographs taken at the Atisco Trailer Park, where a baby Ronald Winters III died back in 1980. Winters now faces second-degree murder charges after the case was declared a homicide earlier this year. Court proceedings have been adjourned for 2 weeks. New rides at the amusement park are not the only big improvement coming to Sylvan Beach this year. Work is already underway for construction of 40 new homes, a mini golf course, and several retail stores. The homes are expected to sell for more than $300,000 each along an extension of 17th Street. Developers say they've sunk about $9 million into the project. Just a bit farther east, another tourist spot on the outskirts of Rome is trying some new strategies to attract more visitors. Business at Fort Ricky Game Farm was down last year because they had to close down their water park. This year, the owner is putting the focus back on the zoo aspects of Fort Ricky by working to attract more families and animal lovers. They're also offering free admission for kids. To print out an online coupon, go to NewsChannel 9 links at 9WSYR.com. You've probably heard him on WSYR Radio or seen his show on CNN Headline News. And tonight, Glenn Beck brought an inconvenient tour to Syracuse's landmark theater.
You know, the nice thing about Syracuse is you get that last snow just in time to rake the leaves, and the first snow knocks the rest of the leaves out of the trees, and I think that's super, super special.
Even though the name of the tour is a play on the title of Al Gore's global warming documentary, An Inconvenient Truth, Glenn strayed from politics and devoted most of the night to comedy, giving the audience plenty of reasons to laugh. Well, Beck's observations on the weather weren't far off it. It was another unseasonably cool day, but at least we had plenty of sunshine for the most part. A beautiful sunset from our downtown tower cam. And Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Dave Eichhorn says it'll warm back up tomorrow. Dave?
Rod, this was a one-day affair with cool weather, and boy, are things going to change, and change in a hurry. Tomorrow you won't notice it so much, but wait till you see what happens Friday. In any event, you do see some signs of change tomorrow. Already by noon, we'll be warmer than we were at any time during the day today, and that's just the start of it. Very little temperature drop tomorrow night, and Friday, the mercury goes off like a rocket. And then the weekend. Boy, is that news looking good. I'll share in it with you in just a bit.
Coming up in sports, the NHL crowned its champion tonight. The Anaheim Ducks win the Stanley Cup, beating Ottawa 6-2, and with it, they take the series 4-1. Meanwhile, the season is over for the Liverpool girls softball team. The Warriors put up a valiant effort against heavily favored Shenendehowa, but Ashley DiAugustino's bloop single in the 8th gives Shenendehowa a dramatic 3-2 win. Solvay girls also fall today. We'll have all the highlights a little bit later on in sports.
Also ahead tonight, One Central New York City is turning to the internet to put delinquent properties back on the tax rolls. Plus, the last chance for fans to come on down and see Bob Barker. And next, more local news, including young artists getting their artwork on display in downtown Syracuse.
From the station that is breaking news, you're watching News Channel 9, 11 at 11. The forecast where you live. From the News Channel 9 Storm Team.
All right, well, we went through one quick downward turn in temperature, and we're about to turn everything around the opposite direction just as quickly in the matter of the next, 24, 36 hours. Let's take a look at the numbers for the day today. 61 after a low of 46, and we're cooling down fairly quickly, although some clouds are now starting to move in from the north and west, and so 40s will about do it for tonight. Temperature this last hour, 52. Barometer still rising, the wind light out of the west at about 3 miles per hour. Here's what's upwind of us, and the reason why this is important, even though it's not that extreme, a lot of these places that got into the very upper 80s and very low 90s from the mid-Atlantic all the way through the Mississippi Valley were only in the 70s yesterday. So it just kind of gives you an idea as to how this thing is not only enlarging but heating up as it does so. And I'm talking about this very warm air mass, and that is what is getting ready to move our way. All we need is a southwest wind to do the job, and that is soon to happen. Now, in advance of the warm air, clouds are beginning to break out, and that's often the case. As the warm air starts to push north, it lifts up and over the cooler air that it's trying to move into, and that's what's creating this cloud shield. And some of those clouds have already streaked southeastward across the Syracuse area. The main part of this here will probably move over us during the first half of the day tomorrow, but it'll be sort of lifting north and east as it does so, and that's why I think we've got a real good chance to get some breaks in the clouds later in the day. And then just behind that is the heat. There's a small channel of moisture in the heat coming up out of the Gulf of Mexico. Not producing much in the way of rain. The real thunderstorms are way back over to Nebraska. So there is the size of the tropical air mass starting to move our way. Now you're going to see the results of that. First, in terms of cloud cover. Again, starting this timecast as we showed you earlier this evening, doing a good job picking up on those clouds moving in over us tonight. They are in advance of that surge of warm tropical air coming our way, which by noon tomorrow should be just west of Jamestown, New York. And then tomorrow evening, things keep moving. And we think the warm front, the leading edge to that air mass, should be very close to the Syracuse area by 8 o'clock in the evening. Back behind it, temperatures climbing rapidly through the 80s. I wouldn't be surprised if low 90s got as close to us as southern Ohio later in the day tomorrow. And then it's all going to come our way. For the rest of tonight, increasing clouds, temperatures falling just a little bit more before stopping, and then tomorrow morning we'll already be on our way up, probably in the upper 50s with a good deal of cloud cover, and with the anticipation of that cloudiness moving out of here tomorrow afternoon, a high temperature of 78 degrees. Just a few clouds around tomorrow night, but note the overnight low. I think what's going to happen is we'll dip early in the night, and then later tomorrow night the temperature will actually start rising as those south winds begin to pick up. So an average temperature tomorrow night of 65. 94 degrees Friday. A thunderstorm possible later in the day. That would tie the record, by the way. And then Saturday, new cooler air from the northern plains comes in, but still low to mid 70s, and winds settling down later in the day Saturday, and it looks as though that's going to set the stage for Sunday and Monday's weather, which should be nothing short of beautiful. And then Tuesday, we start to warm back up again. That should result in a thunderstorm by Wednesday.
Children and their parents had a good reason to visit Syracuse's Everson Museum tonight. The fourth graders from North Syracuse's Allen Road Elementary School have watercolors on display in an exhibit called New York State Flora and Fauna. The art teacher says the project combines art, social studies, and science because the kids had to research animal and plants native to New York State for their paintings. Coming up in sports tonight, the Yankees get some good news regarding Roger Clemens. Stephen Foddy will have that story. Also ahead, one local city finds a new way to sell abandoned properties. We'll show you how well it's working.
From WSYR-TV, this is News Channel 9.
Bob Barker taped his very last episode of The Price is Right today, ending a 50-year career in television, the past 35 as host of the famous game show. Fans were lined up since last night, hoping for a seat in the audience and the chance to come on down. The show taped today airs next Friday. CBS has auditioned several prospective replacements, but there's been no decision yet. The city of Rome is getting into the real estate business online, taking old foreclosed homes and putting them up on eBay to find suitable buyers. The city's only listed one home so far, but as Kim Brown explains tonight, it likely won't be the last.
If you notice, those columns are all intact, straight. They're not, they need renovation, but they add to it.
Donna Piekarski sees a lot of potential in 211 West Embargo Street. The home was built in 1850 and even housed two of the city's mayors.
Each room has a fireplace, like a marble or granite. The molding's still there. A lot of things are still there, from the original building.
It's been empty for a couple years since it went into foreclosure, and the city tried selling it the conventional way, but when that didn't work, they turned to eBay.
We were surprised, how popular it was and the hits. You get all excited when you keep seeing the numbers go up. So once this is done, we'll probably go on to another one and see how that goes.
Now, the city didn't start selling the houses themselves. They started about a year ago selling smaller things, the things people left behind when the city took over their property. And they've also sold things like old traffic signs, old police cars, and even these fire hoses. They've sold 60 of them so far, and at $10 each, that's a lot of money.
And we've made several thousands of dollars that way, and it's been a success.
Back to the home on the auction block, its asking price is only $1. So instead of going to the highest bidder, it'll go to the buyer who comes up with the best plan for fixing it up.
We care so much about our city, and that's why they've developed this rehabilitation plan, because it has to be good for the community. A stranger will buy the property, and we will do a background check on that and see what their intentions are. And if the real property committee approves of it, then hopefully we'll have a nice property on the tax rolls.
And a nicer looking property lining West Embargo Street. In Rome, Kim Brown, News Channel 9.
Now, the city's Real Property Committee is working now to find a buyer for the home from a pool they've narrowed down to less than 10 people. Over the last year, the city of Rome made $50,000 selling items online. Right now, a look at tonight's winning lottery numbers. The evening numbers 229, the evening win 4 combination 5080. The take 5 numbers 6, 8, 12, 23, and 32. In the lotto game 1, 5, 7, 19, 21, 55. Bonus number 42, extra number 12.
In sports tonight, the state softball regionals in Cicero take center stage. Well, our 2 local softball teams had their work cut out for them today. One had to face the 2-time defending state champs. The other had to face a star pitcher who's headed to Syracuse in the fall. Let's begin in Class AA. Liverpool taking on Shenendehowa. The Lady Plainsmen led by Orange recruit Angie Sagnelli. 3rd inning, Warriors down 1-0. Nicole Lamison smacks one into the left center field gap. That scores Anna Penzetta to tie the game at 1. 5th inning, Barb Shea, the RBI single for Shenendehowa that plates the go-ahead run. The Plainsmen feeling pretty good, up by a run late in the game, but Liverpool refuses to go down without a fight. Callan Howard in the 6th drives a line drive to right center. That scores the tying run. Howard ends up on second. The game goes into extra innings. Bottom 8, Ashley DiAugustino gets the bloop single to drop. Liverpool falls in a tough one, 3-2 in the state regionals.
They were devastated. I mean, they truly believed that we were going to win this tournament, and that was our whole thing from the start of the season. Not a lot of people gave us a chance, I think, to get to this point. But I know our kids believe that. They believe that we're going to get here. They set their goals to win the state championship.
Liverpool closes out the season 21-7. On to Class A, Salve running into the reigning champs from Susquehanna Valley. 3rd inning, Chelsea West rips an RBI single, plates a run. SV takes a 6-0 lead. Same inning, Becca Wiggins drives in another. The Sabres showing why they're the defending champs. They win big, 14-0. The state lacrosse tournament continues tomorrow with the boys semis in Rochester. JD takes on Geneva at 3:30. West Genesee faces off with Irondequoit at 8. Our coverage from St. John Fisher College begins at 6 o'clock. Well, Jason Giambi has been asked by Baseball Commissioner Bud Selig to speak with George Mitchell within the next 2 weeks. If he does, Giambi would become the first active player to cooperate with the steroids investigator. Selig is yet to discipline the Yankees first baseman for his recent comments about steroids in baseball. Giambi is certainly available for the meeting. He's currently on the disabled list. Meanwhile, the rest of his teammates continuing their series in Chicago. Joe Torre's Yankees making it 2 straight against the White Sox. 3rd inning, Alex Rodriguez coming through with a bases loaded single. It scores 2. A-Rod, though, thrown out trying to stretch it into a double, but it didn't much matter. Chin-Ming Wong tosses a complete Game 5 hitter. He was brilliant tonight. The Bombers go on to beat Chicago by a final of 5-1. And it looks like the Rocket will be ready to go on Saturday. Roger Clemens threw 62 pitches down at the Yankees training facility in Florida today. He says everything went well and does expect to be on the mound this weekend against the Pirates for his 2007 Major League debut. National League action from tonight. Mets trying to avoid their 3rd straight loss. Bottom 4, Ruben Gotay lifts one to right. Carlos Delgado tags at 3rd. He's going to test out the arm of Shane Victorino. Bad idea. Delgado gunned down at the plate. Mets unable to add to that lead. Top 7, 2 outs, 2 on for Jimmy Rollins, and the little guy smacks one out. Just like that, the Phils take a 3-2 lead. Bottom 8, 4-2 now. Endy Chavez with the bases loaded, 1 out, but Chavez grounds into the double play, pulls his hamstring in the process. The Mets lose 4-2. They may lose Chavez for a while as well. He'll have an MRI tomorrow. Down to the minors, Chiefs fall in Toledo for the 2nd straight night. The Mud Hens broke the game open with a 6th-run 8th, 9-2 the final. Syracuse now 3 games below 500. Well, the NHL season came to a close tonight. The Anaheim Ducks are your new Stanley Cup champions. Former Colgate star Andy McDonald tallied the first goal of the game. He also added an assist as Anaheim wins Game 5 6-2. The Ducks take the series from Ottawa 4-1, claiming their first title in franchise history. And finally tonight, Perry Patterson's stay with the Philadelphia Eagles was a short one, very short. The former SU quarterback who also tried out for the Bills, was cut less than a day after signing with the team as a free agent. The Eagles needed his roster spot for a tight end following an injury in practice. Cleveland and Atlanta have also expressed interest, so all it takes is one team to give him a shot. He's going to keep on trying.
Maybe he can catch on. Good luck to Perry Patterson. All right, thank you, Steve. That's our report tonight. ABC News Nightline is next. If you're up early, don't forget the morning news beginning at 5 a.m. Thank you for joining us tonight, and good night, everybody.